Howdy, welcome back to the shop. I reckon we probably better keep trucking along on our little project for our cutters. So off camera, I turned off the cap for this thing. And what this amounts to, this is just a piece of that 1 5/8 stock. The overall length on this turned out to, well, it's 40 thousandths longer than it should have been. It's supposed to have been 1 1/4 inches. I must have done some math errors wrong. So anyway, I drilled it through with a clearance hole for 3/8, so 11/32. No. Yeah. I can't think today. My brain is fried. So anyway, I drilled it for clearance for a 3/8 bolt. And then I set it up here and I reached in and I bored it. And I bored, about 900 thousandths deep. And I got a really nice fit to my shaft here. And I mean, it's a good fit. I like the sound of that. Now, the only problem with a fit like this is I will always have to remember when in use to smear a little bitty bit of grease on the inside of this hole here, because if this thing ever if it ever slips on this shaft while it's under a bind, it will immediately gall together. That's the only, or well, not the only, but that's one of the big problems with running aluminum on aluminum, is the tendency to gall. So it has a really nice feel to it, but if it ever slips, it's going to gall, and that may be foreshadowing, I don't know. So the next op I need to do is I need to stick a bolt in the end here, and then I need to put this whole rigmarole back up in the headstock of the lathe, and then I need to turn this down to match this, and I might even put me a little taper on the end of it. So I've got me a grade 5 3/8 bolt with a grade 8 3/8 or 5/16 washer on it, and I'll stick this back in the lathe, turn this down, maybe put a little chamfer on the end of it, and this project will be DUN done. Alright, to get this diameter to match this diameter without too much fuss, what I'm doing is I'm going in there and I'm going to run my top over until I feel it touch. There we went. I felt a touch. So I'm going to back up about 5 thousandths, just a hair, and I'm going to set my dial indicator, if it's tight, I'm going to set my dial indicator here at a 1/2 inch even. Now, I know that when I'm cutting out here, when I hit a 1/2 inch, I'm pretty close to the same diameter as this over here, without having to do too much guesswork. A little oil on that just to keep it from chip welding. Now this little lathe is about 80 thousandths off the diameter. This is a diameter reading knob down here, or indicator, or scale, I guess I should say, and it's about 80 thousandths per turn. which seems about right for the kind of inserts I use to break the chip pretty good. So now we're back at a 1/2 inch on the indicator, dial indicator. So we'll see about where we've ended up. I may end up having to take a couple more thousandths off the diameter to make both diameters line up just exactly. Of course, being this is a finished pass, it's trying to chatter. Yeah, I think I'll take about 5 more thousandths. I don't guess it matters a lick that those two diameters are the same, but I'd probably lose sleep if they weren't. All right, well, a little cleanup. Let's see what we can do to put a chamfer on that. Wow. They work better if you throw them in the floor a few times. Well, that's about as polished up as that's going to need to be. I'll take her out here and we'll give her the old looky-loo. Well, here we go. I'd call that finished. And like I said, I do believe that a man ought to put a little grease on something that's aluminum to aluminum, because it will gall on you. And that may be the Achilles heel of this whole project. Let's see, she turns that way, I believe. How do I get on the end of that? I'm not going to tighten that up tight yet, but that does have a lot of, I mean, just with this finger tight, I can just barely, and I mean barely, turn that without it cutting into my fingers. So, now loosening it is one thing, but, so there you go. One gear cutter arbor, made to order. And I may have screwed up and I may have made this just a little bit too short, but we'll see. I've got my dividing head is not here yet, so I don't know when I make my arbors coming out of my dividing head to hold my gears, you know, if I may even have to make a tailstock for the dividing head. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. So, thanks for watching. Y'all like and subscribe and share and all that other stuff. You know how to do that. In the meantime, y'all drive safe. Watch for deer.